The legend of Troy Pottenger returns to the Western Huntsman. There exists a threat, from anti-hunting groups to politicians trying to give our land away, and we won't stand for it. Those vast western landscapes provide the space for our wildlife to thrive and a place for hunters and anglers to fuel the fire that sparks their soul. In this show, we share our love of hunting, fishing, and conservation. Here, we provide the foundation to meet these threats through passion and the grit of the American outdoorsman. Welcome to the Western Huntsman Podcast. Guys, welcome back to the Western Huntsman Podcast. This is Jim Huntsman coming at you from the Broken Time studio in Hayden, Idaho. Glad you guys have tuned in, man. Appreciate you guys being here. Got a great episode for you today with a return guest, Troy Pottenger. We'll get into that in just a minute. I'd like to just thank again our sponsors on the show, our partners. We're pretty proud to partner with these guys. And I just wanted to give them a quick shout out here in the intro. SKRE, Extreme Mountain Gear. Guys, it's great technical hunting gear. If you're in the market for that, I've got a promo code that'll save you some money. And get that camo. Get that camo ready, guys. They have great bundles for you. So, and I'd like to also thank Phelps Game Calls, the call company of the Western Huntsman, and I have got a whole pile of Phelps calls lined up because it's September. In fact, if you're listening to this, I am actually recording this several days before it's released because as you're listening to this now, I am hunting, and I've definitely got a pile of Phelps game calls in my pack, in my pocket, everything else. And lastly, but not leastly, if that's a word, I'd like to send a shout out to Hoffman Boots. Hoffman Boots, they are going to be carrying me up and down the mountain this season, and I am super proud to partner with those guys. Promo codes are all in the show notes. In fact, with Hoffman Boots, I think by the time you're listening to this, I'll probably be hunting with Jim Hoffman, one of the owners of Hoffman Boots. It's a great Idaho company, and he's going to be meeting me up on the mountain. We're going out for a day or two, and going to see if we can't get an elk down. So thanks to all the sponsors and the partners on this show. We couldn't do it without you. We appreciate that. So, all right, guys, let's talk about this youth sponsor, or I'm sorry, not youth sponsor, the youth essay contest we've been having. And I want to, first of all, to everybody that submitted an essay, thank you. I was humbled, and my spirits were lifted by reading through all of these essays. They were all fantastic. The decision to make or choose winners is going to be a super tough one. You guys have no idea. You know what I wasn't thinking about, and this is kind of an unfortunate part, is we're in September now, and the folks that I'm coordinating with the scholarships for the prizes, well, they're all elk hunting right now. So it's gonna be a while, guys. I apologize about that, but I do want to kind of start getting this formalized and finalized here, because we did have, so I guess to back that up, I got more entries than I was expecting. So it took a while to get through all of them. Like I said, they were all great. You guys did a great job. I was, it's good to read what is on the minds of our youth hunters out there, and it sounds like to me from reading through these essays, we got a lot of promise for the future of hunting, and that makes me really, really happy. So thanks again for sending those in. So what I've done, we got a bunch of them, okay, and I've read through every last one of them. The decision to come up with a winner is really, really hard. I don't quite know how I'm going to do it yet. But what I did do is I kind of took like the top 8 essays, and they're in like a final round right now. Okay. So I printed off all those essays. There's 8 of them that kind of made the final, the final round. And what's going to happen is now those essays are going to go under the watchful eye, the scrutiny of Mrs. the Western Huntsman. So my wife, Nicole, is going to go ahead and go through them, and she's going to give me her input on them. And it's going to help me kind of come to a decision as to who won these. But before we do that, I'd like to announce those top 8 names, the people that are in the final round, you youth hunters that are in the final round here. I'm going to announce your names right now because I was super impressed. What really made a big difference for these 8 essays is some of the points that they made were less selfish reasons for hunting and more community oriented in a way of what's going to make hunting better. Does that make sense? I hope I explained that right. And not that any of the essays were necessarily a selfish essay or anything like that. So don't take that wrong. But what these essays did is they articulated very specific things about how they're going to contribute to the betterment of hunting altogether in a greater way, something greater than themselves. They see hunting as, like a way of life and a lifestyle that needs to be protected by hunters in a way that shines positive light on us going forward in the future. And so that's kind of what got these essays into the top 8. And now we're going to boil it down, and we're going to have 3 winners. And remember, the three winners, we have a scholarship to the Elk Collective. That was given to us essentially by Dirk Durham, Jason Phelps, all the guys over at the Elk Collective. It's a great group of people, and there is so much information on this website, the Elk Collective. This thing is normally just about $120 to get involved. And so this is a fantastic scholarship to have. So the Elk Collective is going to be one of the prizes. And another prize is going to be a personal one-on-one elk calling lesson by Michael Batiste. Geez, did I say his name right or what? Michael Batiste. Sorry, Michael. Anyways, he's up hunting right now anyway, so I don't even know if he'll listen to this. But Michael has something called the Elk Calling Academy, and let me tell you guys something. He does private lessons, and it's going to be online through Zoom, where you guys are going to be able to see each other and go back and forth with this lesson. And it's a valuable thing. I consider myself a half decent elk caller, a guy that I know how to call in elk, right? But I would love to spend an hour with Michael Batiste and learn how to improve. So this giveaway is super, super cool. And lastly, but not least, Joe Gillia of Elk Bros has donated an entry into the Blue Collar Elk Academy. Now, this is another website, an e-course that you're going to get a login information to. You're going to be able to go through all the content in there. They have like over 100 years worth of experience, all packed into this website. These are great resources for you guys as youth hunters, and I'm really excited to give those away. I've also, and I'm not sure how I'm going to break this down, but I have some Phelps stuff to give away. I have some stickers. I have some swag, some gear, and a very, very cool custom Skinner knife that comes with a sheath from Logan Erdman, who is currently, I think he's somewhere in Colorado right now hunting elk. But anyway, he made this really, really cool knife. It's super nice, in fact, and it's one of those knives that as a youth hunter, you could use it now, keep it good, keep it nice, and pass it down to your children or your grandchildren. It's one of those kind of knives. It's a very special knife, and Logan is just one heck of a knife maker, and I'm really proud to have this knife to be able to pass on to one of you guys. That I'm going to throw this in the package. So with that said, I'm just gonna list all the names, and guys, if I don't pronounce your name right, I'm super sorry. I think I've got them all down, and we're gonna figure this out. But these are our 8 finalists. You guys don't have to do anything at this point. You're just in the finalist round. So now your essays get put in to the next round of kind of scrutiny and reading and determining who's going to be the winner. And I'm just asking you guys to bear with us. It is hunting season. I am on the mountain, off grid completely as you're listening to this. So we are working on this. But I promise in the next few weeks, we're going to have an actual a list of the 3 winners. So that being said, let's go through these names. And you guys, congratulations on making the final round. It's a big deal, guys. We had a lot of entries. So if you made this final round, you did a heck of a job, and I'm proud of you. Thank you for submitting these. So here's the list. And they're in no particular order. I just kind of threw them up on my screen here. All right, are we ready? All right, let's go through it. Larissa West. Yeah. Caden Allen. Arabella Stevens. Hunter Litz. Yeah. Darby Sager. Hannah Gregory. Emily Gregory. Jacob Sundis. Congratulations. All right. Yeah, like I say, guys, you guys are in the final 8. Congratulations. You did a heck of a job. I loved your essays. They really brought home the point in which I was asking in these essays, and you guys did a great job. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of the age ranges, too. Some of you 10-year-olds out there can really put it together on paper, so I appreciate that. And I think there's I'm looking at this list here. Hannah and Emily, they're probably related. I'm thinking because they came from the same place, and so they're probably sisters or something. So that's pretty cool. And anyways, guys, congratulations on that. Just stay tuned and bear with us through hunting season, guys. I will get these prizes out to the winners as soon as we know who the winners are, and as soon as I'm back off the mountain and everybody else is back off the mountain, as we kind of take a lot of these guys, they hunt like I do. September's all about elk, right? And for us, and we're out there chasing elk, and then there's kind of this lull before deer season. So that's kind of where we're going to take care of all this finalist stuff. So, all right, guys, this episode, I've got Troy Pottenger on, and if you remember back last winter, I had Troy and his boys Ty and Jess on. And we were talking about mountain whitetails and bass fishing and all this cool stuff, and it was actually a 2-part series because we went super long. But I was able to convince Troy, because he's super busy this time of year. He's already kicked off his mountain whitetail hunting. He's been posting pictures of him in a tree stand up on the mountain, and I know he's going to get it done at some point. And so Troy if you don't know who Troy is, you need to check him out. On Instagram, he's MountainMan33. And he's just a stud of a whitetail killer, and he's probably one of the top. I don't know. I don't know how we can even rate that, but he's one of the best mountain public land whitetail hunters in the world, and I mean that sincerely. He's a great guy. He's a great educator. He's the kind of guy that cares about teaching others, whether it's for a day job. He is a teacher. He teaches 8th grade, and he's a coach. And he also gets out there and just smokes monster whitetail after monster whitetail. You should see his trophy room. And you know what's impressive about it is when he started collecting his trophies from hunting season and shed hunting and all this stuff, somebody broke in and stole them all. And so we're talking this trophy room is even more impressive because he had to start from scratch and start rebuilding it. But he's just a great guy. I love having him on the show. And he's just he's an inspirational hunter, the kind of hunter that we should all look up to. And without further ado, let's give it up for Troy and enjoy the episode. Guys, if you're out there hunting in September, gosh, man, good luck. I hope you get something, and if you do, send it my way. Send me a pic, and I'll post it on our stuff at jimofthewesternhuntsman.com. Thanks, guys. Enjoy. And for the second time, I'm sitting here rolling in the Broken Tine studio with one of my whitetail hunting heroes, Troy Pottenger. How you doing, man?
Good, Jim. Good to be here, man.
It's great to have you back in the studio. You mentioned we made a few upgrades. I got some better microphones and more microphones.
Yeah.
Last time we were passing mics back and forth.
I think the last time I was here, we had the boys, or I don't know. I've been here twice.
Yeah.
And I had the boys that one time, and it was fun. It was, hey, just make it work. But no, this is sweet. I like it.
It's
sweet.
You know what the biggest upgrade is I added a urinal over there in the corner.
There we go.
It's a plastic one, man. I bought it on Amazon.
Nice. No, this is a great place. This is my kind of place. We were talking about it before we got on.
Yeah, it's getting comfy.
I like real places.
I need to chop some wood for this coming winter, though.
How about this morning?
Right? It's kind of chilly.
I honestly walked outside and thought I was going to hear an elk bugle.
I know. It was 45 degrees this morning.
It was 42 at my house.
Was it really?
Yeah. I got up at 5. Hank the horn dog, my antler dog, he got me up and he said, Dad, I got to go to the bathroom. So we went out at 5 and I just felt it. I was like, what a great day to go do a podcast with Jim because it's in the air.
It is.
It's here.
I could feel it. I could smell it. I could see it. It's right here, man.
It's here.
And by the time this is live, we're gonna be in the mountains.
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah.
I've got a buck I'm setting on Sunday. I got a stand hung on him, and and then elk rolls around a week later. Are you doing the September 6th elk? Or are you going somewhere else?
The 6th.
6th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I'm waiting. I'll be out the first 2 days, and I'll be back here for like a day, and then I'll be gone for like 10 days.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So where are you headed? Not specifics.
You want like GPS coordinates?
No, I'm good. But I'm just curious for you. 10 days is awesome.
Yeah, Unit 4. I'll be in Unit 4. Oh, nice. Unit. Maybe I might switch to Unit 6 after a while.
Right.
I don't know.
That's my old stomping grounds.
Yeah.
4 and 6 is where, and I'm out by there right now.
All right. You're out in.
I'm literally in the. I can look out my back door and see Unit 4 and look south and see Unit 6, and I'm in 3. So I'm in a nice little.
You are. You're kind of right in
kind of in the epicenter of all 3 of them. Yeah. Where I can get to all 3 units quick.
I go back and forth with 6, man. It's like it's a great unit, but I think it also gets hammered with wolves, and so I don't know.
6 is 6 is where I grew up.
Yeah,
6 is where I cut my teeth on everything,
including whitetail.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what we're going to really talk about.
Yeah,
today.
And 6 is some big woods, logging, heavy logging country, a lot of potlatch, but the animals are still there. They're educated.
They are.
6.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
You kill a bull or a big buck or a nice bull in 6, you're working. You got something figured out because they get hunted.
I heard there's some grizz moving in down there.
There is in the more towards the Montana border.
Is there?
Yeah. The more you go east, and then of course up north above us here.
Yeah.
But the grizz are starting to trickle.
Kind of work their way.
Yeah.
I might have to upgrade my firearm, man. Do you use a 10 millimeter?
Yeah, I got the boys. It's funny. I made a post on Facebook this morning about them boys.
That's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about it.
My boys carry 45s. I carried 45 for years.
That's what I've got.
But I had a 10 about 2 decades ago, and I really liked the 10. And Springfield makes one that holds 15 plus 1.
Really?
And a 10 is just. It's just, in my opinion, just a badass round.
It is.
Because it's got enough whop to it that I feel good around bears. But it also, you shoot at 100 yards.
Oh, really?
Pretty accurate.
You got pretty good range with it.
Yeah, good range. I just like how a 10 shoots. So anyway, all that to say, and I'm not a master of pistols, but I loved my Smith & Wesson 10, a couple decades ago.
Yep.
Wished I wouldn't have got rid of it. Got another one. Got the Springfield XD now, and it's freaking sweet. Nicest shooting gun I've ever owned, or pistol.
I need to. Yeah, I think I better look into that because I feel like the 45 is fine in most cases, but
I love the 45.
I think that 10. If I'm running into grizzlies, I'd just rather have that 10.
To me, a 45 is a 454, and a 10's a hopped up 327 Chevy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that 45 I give to the boys because I tell them stop anything.
Yeah.
But that 10 is kind of like a hot rod. Little smaller, but man, it packs a punch. Anyway,
I think I'd throw some bear spray at them, first just to slow them down.
Yeah.
And this is what Bob Lagasa,
he
talks
to
about
hear what
that.
they said that.
Yeah, he's all about the bear spray because it'll slow them down. It'll either confuse them or chase them off.
Right.
But if nothing else, it stops them long enough to be able to get a good shot off. Right. And so I've got some of that. I've got actually I need to get new because they expire, your bear spray.
Yeah.
And so I need to get another thing. I use that counter assault, and it's pretty good.
Yep. Yeah. And I've had bears charge me.
Yeah.
I'd never have time to bear spray and do both.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw it out there. I never
it's a hot topic too.
It's a great topic, and I've had them in my face.
Like grizz or black?
Blacks. And I think a grizzly would be just bigger and faster.
Yeah. I think so too.
I've fortunately never had a bad incident with a grizzly, but have ran into a couple, but never had anything turn on me. But black bears move so fast, it's unreal.
Yeah.
And a mother black bear will be in your face quicker than you can hardly get your gun out.
Really?
Yep. And I've told this story. I've even told it to my kids.
Did you black bear?
Oh, black bear. Huh. In your face.
See, I've never worried about them. I always run into them, and they just, they run like a liberal in a debate.
There's a lot of debate about this. But black bears, in my experience in Idaho, black bears that have been hunted hard with hounds and have learned to fear humans usually take off. But when you're out shed hunting in the spring and you stumble across a sow and her cubs and it's not really hunting season yet and she come out of the den, that's where I've had my troubles. Now, I've never personally had to kill one, but I've had to shoot as they're, and they'll call it coming at me. I mean, full bore. Jeez, coming right at me. And I've never, it's funny because they've got their cubs. She's doing what she needs to be doing. Oh, I'd kill one in a second. I'd kill one in a second if I had to, if I thought she was going to get a hold of me. But I've a couple times, 3 times actually in my lifetime, I've had to pull out my pistol, shoot in the direction to make the noise, and that stopped her. And that's been 3 different mamas, 3 different sows.
That'd work. I'm good with that.
But my point is, I don't think I'd ever have time to do both.
Yeah, that's
based
true.
on what I ran into. So my bear spray will always be my pistol.
Gotcha. I'm
that's where
going
I'm
in. I'm double fisting, man.
Yeah, and I don't blame people.
Only in grizzly country.
And I think in grizzly country, I think all of it. I talked to my buddy Jim Urban. I'll throw a shout out to Jim up in Alaska. He's hunted grizzlies forever. And I just say, Jim, what's the deal? He said, truly, the true best bear spray, the best bear spray there is a shotgun.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I mean, he said,
for sure.
That's what they carry. They carry a shotgun.
No question.
Just
a
for bears.
Would be the
And they load it up, and they said, he's told me that, and I got buddies that are over in Bozeman that deal with all the bears. A lot of grizzlies around Bozeman. Yeah. And they carry both. They carry the bear spray and the pistol. A gun. Yeah, and a pistol.
Yeah. I think I'm going to upgrade that, man. I'm going to get the 10 and get rid of this. Well, I won't get rid of the 45.
Oh, keep it. Keep all your guns.
It was funny.
Don't sell guns anymore.
I was super naive one time, and I was fly fishing outside of Cody, Wyoming, which is pretty, grizzly heavy country.
Yeah.
You know what I was carrying?
22.
No, a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 380.
Okay, that's what my wife carries concealed.
Well, see, and that's what it was for me.
Right.
But I'm like, I'll just take my little concealed pistol out, and I get out
that
there.
That just
and
piss them off.
and so when I walk down to the river, and it had rained the night before, so I'm the first one making tracks on the trail, right? And I go down there, I fish for a while. I'm down there for 2 or 3 hours. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to head back to the truck. Start heading back to the truck. And there's grizzly tracks over my tracks. Followed me in, basically.
Right.
And I would have been lunch, man, with that 380. And so I laugh about it now, but it scared the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. And it's like the grizz came down and like watched, and I have pictures, and I put my fly rod right down next to the tracks and how they were covering my tracks and all this stuff. And anyways, that's where it really changed. This is like, this is actually something you got to think about. You got a bear this last spring though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Nice. Were you baiting?
Yes. All my bear hunting in the spring is archery over bait. And then in the fall, I'm hunting whitetails and elk, and I'll shoot a fall bear, but I don't bait. If I run into one or one comes by my tree stand. So I always try to have 2 tags. And this year I bought bear tag for Washington too. So, and you can't bait in Washington for bear, but there's so many bears in Washington. Every season when I'm whitetail hunting, I always have something come by. Or I see one, driving into the woods or whatever. So I always see bear in Washington. Yeah. So I got everything over the counter this year for both states.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The thing too we need to touch base on with these pistols is the cougars are what'll surprise the hell out of you.
I know.
The lions will. You guys are out talking.
They make
to elk.
me more nervous than anything.
I've had Ty was sitting with me one time. We were filming and we were talking to a bull, and I said we're gonna go try to kill this bull, Ty, and he had the camera running because I was doing a little short talk on the video, and so we're going to go after this bull, and we were listening to him, and about that time I looked over, and there was a damn lion staring at me and Ty.
Were you were in a tree stand?
No, we were on the ground hunting elk.
On the ground.
Ty had the camera, just happened to have the camera. We were filming our elk hunt, and Ty was probably, hope I get this right, 12. And Ty just turned. We have this on film. Ty turned the camera, and that lion was from here to your Coors Light picture there, on the ground, crouched, ready to
pounce.
Try. Because we were cow calling and we were bugling, so it came in on us, and I just whispered to Ty like I'm gonna kill it, and I drew my bow, and I swung around in front of Ty, and he leaned back, and as soon as I swung on that lion. It took off.
Oh, wow.
I was going to shoot it right in the chest.
Yeah, I wouldn't even hesitate. Man. Like lions make me more. Everybody talks about grizzlies and bears and wolves and all this other stuff. The mountain lions are what make me the most nervous.
Lions will get on you, and you won't even know they're there till they're on you.
Yeah, exactly.
You can usually hear a bear coming because they're heavy, even if they're even though their pads are soft. Like when I've killed a lot of bears and hunted a ton of bears and listened and watched 20 times more bears than I kill because I see the sows all the time.
Yeah.
I always hear them coming.
Yeah.
I always pick up a twig or something. They have soft feet, but they're usually heavy enough they'll break something. Lions, never heard one.
Jeez,
I've always seen them first, even out of a tree stand. I had a lion come by me in a stand one time, and I was going to kill it. I had a tag. Everything was cool. But it picked me up. The slightest movement, I went to grab my bow, and it was like 45 yards from me, and that cat, I couldn't believe it. I'm 30 feet up.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you sit way high in your tree.
I'll say I'm 25 feet, because when I say 30, it's where I shoot from. My arrow's leaving at 30. My feet are about 25.
25, yeah.
So anyway, I'm 25 feet up. I literally move my hand 1 foot to grab my bow off my bow hanger, and that lion was 45 yards away, coming right at me, and as soon as I barely moved my hand to grab that bow, 25 feet up in a tree, tons of back cover, he looked right at me.
Jeez, man.
And just
That's crazy.
He saw the movement.
That's crazy.
He saw that hand move, and he locked onto me, and it was a big tom that I have on camera quite a bit. He comes through periodically.
That'd have been cool if you could have gotten him.
Oh my gosh, it's my dream is to kill a wolf and a lion out of my tree stand.
Oh man.
Have them come by and film
just
it.
Come by and get him.
Come by and have them walk by. Anyway, all that to say, he spun out and took off. But again, the only reason I saw him at that far away is I was up.
You were up in a tree stand.
Yeah, I never saw him on the ground close because there was brush down below me. Anyway,
that's the thing. They're low profile. They're super quiet.
The stealthiest animal in the woods.
They're stealthy as hell. I've noticed them only because I knew there were mountain lions in the area. I'll look up and I'll see them up in trees, right? And they think I can't see them. And I always wonder, like, how many mountain lions have I walked under?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're up in a tree just watching, or off in some brush, just kind of watching or whatever. So
I catch them in my tracks a lot.
Yeah.
Like backtracking out in November in the snow.
Oh, do you?
And lions will cut your track and they'll check you out. They'll walk it some. When you're running scrapes with whitetails, they check the scrapes because they check that deer scent. So I get them in my scrapes, then they just walk by. They walk by, and I've got one stand Ty and I call the cougar stand. We have a female lion that's been there forever, and we never see her.
Huh.
But she's on our camera.
You get her on film or on the camera.
We get her on the camera. We never see her.
Huh.
Never see her in person. Get her on camera, and the whitetail bucks in there just disappear every now and then. Never see them again.
Yeah.
There's good bucks in that country where we have her, but I know she eats a couple a year because we'll lose a buck every year or two to her.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I'm assuming it's her because she's right there checking my scrapes.
Yeah. Do you think using hounds is the best way to get a mountain lion?
Most efficient?
Most efficient. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about bear?
Well, I've done really well. I mean, baiting or hounds, yes.
Yeah.
Because you have an advantage. You know, and the thing I like about baiting bear is you get to study the animal.
Mm-hmm.
I watch, again, 20 to 30 times more bears than I actually shoot, but I get to learn about them watching them and really take the time to make a great judgment, a perfect shot. That's what I like about it, is I'm very selective. You know, I literally love my old sows. My old sows are they're my cash pot.
Yeah.
They bring the big guys in. And I always try to hunt the mature old bears that, 15, 16 years old, or at least 10 years old or older. But no, hounds are awesome too as far as just efficiency. Mm-hmm. I've got great friends that are hardcore houndsmen, and I got great friends that love to just hunt them the way I do. And I'm a quiet guy, so I like quiet, no noise, stealthy arrows. That's just how I like to hunt. But I sure as heck like that we have that in Idaho where we can use hounds to keep our predator. Oh, for sure, to keep the predators down. Those houndsmen those dudes are hardcore.
Mm-hmm. I know.
They're hardcore dudes.
Yeah, it's a workout keeping up with those.
They're animals
things anyway.
Yeah,
but you look at places like Washington and California where you can't run hounds, or Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon, I'm not sure.
I don't know about Oregon, but I know in Washington the bears act different.
Yeah.
And the lions act ignorant. They'll walk right up on you.
Yeah, I know.
I literally had to throw sticks at a lion one time because I was a jackass and left my pistol in the pickup checking a camera.
Well, it always seems like that's where the human interactions with mountain lion, like a mountain lion takes out a guy on a bike not very long ago. You know, and
we got everybody in the woods on bicycles now and trails.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they don't have a preconceived negative stimulus towards humans, which they don't in Washington, because they don't get hound hunted, they rarely even get seen or hunted. They roll right in on you, and I've experienced it. I've had them literally just walk right at me. Mm-hmm. Idaho, no, you make eye contact with the lion, and once it usually, once it figures out you're a human, this has been my experience. They usually take off.
Yeah.
But man, we've had them so close, it's pretty eerie.
It's an interesting because if you listen to like Dr. Valerius Geist talks about that exact thing that you just said, that the animals having a fear of humans is exactly why in North America the wolves are so elusive and they avoid humans, right? It's because us and Native Americans have been hunting and pursuing wolves for like thousands of years. We're talking.
Yeah.
Where in Russia they haven't, and so that's why in like Russia you get all these wolf attacks, these human interactions. There's a big difference in how essentially they're managed, and so I always like that topic. That one I always get excited about talking about that kind of stuff. But we need to talk about whitetails, man.
All right, let's roll.
Okay. I don't know if you guys know this yet, but hunting season is knocking on our door. In fact, some states it's already even open. I'm seeing pictures on social media. It's coming, guys. Have you gotten your SKRE gear? SKRE is extreme mountain gear that is designed for rugged western hunting like we talk about on this show all the time. Complete layering system for all terrain and all conditions. Gear designed to adapt to the weather, rugged gear backed by a lifetime warranty. The VIP sizing and exchange program is amazing. If you get the wrong size in the mail or something's not right, you send it back for free. They send you the mailing slip for it and take care of everything. Guys, this is great gear. I've been running SKRE for a long time now, and I really, really like it. It's a great company story. The owner is real big on having high-performance technical hunting apparel at a responsible price, and that's what you're going to get with SKRE. You know how it goes. You can go drop a small fortune on some of this gear out there, right? And we all love to have it. I love having this gear. But with SKRE, you're going to get the high-performance gear. You're going to get everything that you would expect on a high-performance kind of company like this with the gear you're going to get, but you're not going to break the bank. You don't need to sell your kids. You don't need to take out a second mortgage. Just get you some SKRE gear. And at checkout, go ahead and use the promo code The Western Huntsman for 15% off. and free shipping. That's a smoking deal. And Huntsman is spelled Huntsman. A is in Apple. The Western Huntsman at checkout with SKRE gear. You should check out the elk bundle they have. It's pretty spectacular. Hope you guys check it out. I appreciate you supporting our sponsors. And our other sponsor is Phelps Game Calls. Guys, the premier call company. Everybody knows Phelps. We all love Phelps. If you're not using Phelps Game Calls, you're not doing it right. Okay. No, I'm serious, guys. Phelps is a company that was born out of this great American success story that started something small and it turned into this big company that everybody knows now. I use Phelps for my elk calls. I use Phelps for predator calls. They've got some new deer calls coming out. It's going to be great. So I use the AMP series for the elk. You guys know September's on its way. Or it could possibly be here by the time you're listening to this. Who knows? But September's on its way. My favorite time of year, better than Christmas, better than anything. September, man. Get your AMP calls. I really like the Maverick and the Black AMP. Those two are screaming reeds. And there's a bunch of other reeds for different types of pallets, if you will, or the way that you use a call. It might change, so you got to try a little bit of everything. And the pink call is fantastic. But personally, I like that Black AMP, that Maverick reed. Those two are kind of my go-tos when it comes to calling in elk, and boy, do they work. Again, check out, guys. Phelps has given us a promo code to use. It is Huntsman10, Huntsman 10, number 10. So you'll get 10% off at checkout. Go to Phelps.com and check it out. It's going to be in the show notes. And lastly, just as a bonus promo code for you guys that are in the market for a new set of boots, I love the Explorers from Hoffman boots. They are badass boots. They will get you up the mountain. They will get you down the mountain for several seasons. Check them out. The promo code for Hoffman boots is Huntsman15. Huntsman is all caps lock. Huntsman 15. Go ahead and check that out. It'll be in the show notes, and get you some new boots, and let me know what you think. Thanks, guys. Here we go. Let's get back into it. So for anybody, if you guys don't remember, I had Troy on last, that was like February. There was a bunch of snow outside.
I've been on so many podcasts that I can't remember.
It was February. I'm pretty sure.
Was it February? Okay.
Pretty sure. So you came on and you brought Jess and Ty
and the boys.
And the boys came in and we talked a little mountain whitetail. We talked fishing. We talked all sorts of stuff. And so what the idea with this one was is I thought, let's give somebody, everybody that's planning on heading out into the mountains to chase whitetail this year, kind of like a foundational, how to plan for it and kind of some just basic strategy stuff. Obviously, you've got your whitetail boot camp going on tomorrow, huh?
Yeah.
How does that go? How does that play out?
Every year I hold a boot camp. It's a one-day. I keep the numbers down, 10 to 12 guys and gals, whoever, and I do basically an all-day class on my I don't really want to call it a program, but my approach to how I hunt these whitetails in the mountains. And I start from the day after Christmas with my group, and I work them through the winter, the shed hunting, the backtracking, the scouting in the snow. And then I roll into spring and summer trail cams, getting everything out, getting them figured out, patterned all through the summer. And then I take them through month by month how to hunt these bucks differently based on their biological needs, September needs, October, November, December. And all my stuff's based on archery, so the guys that are the rifle hunters, I feel like they get a lot out of it too, because they don't even have to get as close as I do to make it happen. Sure. They can sit back even a little further, have a little more, there's a little more leeway there for them. So I get all kinds of hunters. I think I have 12 guys coming tomorrow. And one of them's a teenager, and I like getting the dad's bringing his son, so I get everything from a brand new hunter to guys that are pretty dang experienced and have done well with whiteys, and they're just looking maybe for that one more step or something that maybe they're missing out on that they can use in their arsenal to be more efficient.
Which is right up your alley too, because you're a high school teacher, right?
High school and middle school. I'm a middle school teacher now. I did high school in the first part of my career, and I won't go off on this too long, but I swore I'd never teach middle school. Well, guess what I'm teaching?
Middle school.
And I love it. I love 8th graders.
Do you?
Yeah, I found a niche with 8th graders that I had no idea about until I got thrown into the fire with 8th grade. And I just found that it's a very pivotal, impactful time in their life at 8th grade age, where I really feel like I can still make a pretty impressionable difference with that age group.
And you've got that. I never had any teachers like you when I was in 8th. My teachers were. I won't talk negatively, but I didn't have any cool 8th grade teachers, and I remember 8th grade, and you are really good at making an impression, especially on these younger guys, these younger kids that I feel like you're going to be one of those teachers that they're going to always remember. You know how you always have that teacher or two growing up that you always remember? I remember my band teacher from middle school. Like, he could have been my grandpa.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they stick out, and I feel like you've got that kind of impression you're leaving on those kids. I keep wanting to say guys, but
yeah, I coach girls.
Yeah, on basketball or whatever.
I coach, and I was a football guy, but had to get out of it because of my archery pursuits and dreams when I was young. So, and I was successful and enjoyed it, but to just touch base on that real quick, that 8th grade level, boys and girls both, it's just a really cool level because those kids are wanting to grow up. Mm-hmm. They're wanting to get it figured out. They're kind of sick of the 6th and 7th grade little bit of drama, and it's a biological thing with kids. The hormones are ramped up and stuff's happening. So you get them in that 8th grade level before they go to high school, and they're starting to get it figured out. And for me, I just have a simple mindset with kids. I want to be that teacher for them that they know is very transparent, real, but also truly cares about every one of them.
Yeah.
And that's what's important to me. Mm-hmm. That's what I care about as a teacher. They know that I know their name, and I actually care about their day.
You actually care.
I care about their day. Academics is important, but guess what? Character, work ethic, all of those things are just as important.
I agree.
So those are the things I focus on, and I teach health classes, so I get to talk about those real life applications. Anyway,
do you ever talk about hunting with in class?
Oh gosh, we live in North Idaho. It's awesome.
That's great.
The kids, I wear camo to school.
Oh, do you really?
Oh heck yeah.
That's fantastic.
You bet I do.
I never had. Well, I had a principal come out.
Just be real, Just be as real as I can.
I agree, man. And I feel like that's one thing that happens with a lot of. Sometimes teachers kids they'll pick up on phoniness quicker than an adult.
I'll tell you what, if you're trying to become a teacher and you try to put on an act, you're dead in the water.
They will sniff you out, right?
Oh, not only that, they won't listen to a word you have to say. You better be real and honest and care about them, and also have some discipline and some standards, because kids want some structure. They don't want to roll into a class and have it be a zoo.
Exactly.
Kids
makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're not comfortable there. They want to feel secure. They want to feel cared for, and they want to learn something. So you better have good curriculum too, and you better be able to teach it in a way that kids can understand it and actually apply it to real life. Yeah. So that's kind of my approach.
I think you're like a perfect example of what a good asset to a public school teacher is. You know what I mean? We need more people like you. Yeah, in front of these kids.
We just, and there's a lot of good ones out there.
Oh, I know.
That don't get the recognition, because everything in the world nowadays is the bad apple seed gets all the attention.
Exactly. It's just like the police situation going on.
Some of the best people in the world are cops.
Yeah,
the world. One of my best friends.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, and
one of the best guys in the world.
These are salt of the earth kind of people.
Salt of the earth.
They don't do it because they pay them $150,000 a year.
Toughest job there is being a cop in the United States of America right now.
I know, and it's always like when I was in the Marine Corps. I think it was our battalion sergeant major or something. He would always talk about Marines. There's always, and I can't remember if it was 1 or 10%. There's always the 1% that is going to shit on the rest of us and make us all look bad.
Yeah.
And that happened when there was a couple of Marines out of Camp Pendleton that went out and shot some wild horses illegally. in California about the time I was getting to battalion.
Yep.
And that was what the news reported.
That's the media.
It was
for
two
you.
Marines that went out and poached horses. It wasn't two young guys. It was all about the Marine Corps, and that's the same thing that's happening with these police, these bad apples. Shed a whole light, and now everybody, this defund the police BS. Oh man, am I going down a rabbit hole?
Yeah, and it's okay, but we do have a limited time.
Oh, that's right. Okay, we better talk about deer.
I agree with you though. I'm with you, and it's ignorant.
Yeah, I'm sick of it, man. I'm fed up with all I see on social media.
The last thing I want to share is being a teacher that I try to teach kids. More importantly than anything, I talk to kids all the time about this. Think for yourself. Mm-hmm. Do not allow, especially with today's social media and media in their face all the time and they have instant stuff being put in their mind constantly just on their phones. I always talk to kids about think for yourself. Stop and process things. Think it through. Don't just jump on a bandwagon if you don't know what the hell it's about. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
That's great. That's great, man.
Think for yourself. Kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff we need. You've met my boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got great boys.
And then they're just
like our society would be a lot better if more, because your boys are. What is Ty? He's going to be 18 this year.
He's 17.
He's 17 now.
Senior, and Jess is 19.
And Jess is 19, almost 20.
Yep.
And that age group, if we had more kids in that age group that behaved like your boys do, our society would be a much better place. They're respectful. A lot of kids that age are not respectful.
And my wife and I demanded it. Mm-hmm. Respectful, but they think for themselves.
Yeah.
They will even talk to my wife and I. They have their opinions, but they've learned how to do it respectfully.
Yeah.
And
we want them to have the opinions, right?
Oh yeah,
I love it. We don't want a bunch of sheep.
Yeah, Jess goes to college, and like he said, the majority of the professors are hardcore liberals.
Oh, I didn't.
And he's not one bit afraid, in a respectful way, to question them and to stand up for just solid character values.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, all right, we better talk some deer.
Absolutely. Okay,
we better talk a little deer.
So this is why I like having you in, man. We have good conversations.
And that's what it should be about.
Yeah, it's just banter, and we're gonna talk hunting, but it's good to get some banter out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I like what you're doing here, Jim, and it's great for our community. It's great for the hunting world. You're doing it for all the right reasons.
I appreciate that.
Yep,
I appreciate that. It's been a wild ride. It's been a lot of fun too, though. So. I get to meet cool dudes like you, man.
I get to meet cool dudes like you.
I don't think I've ever done a podcast at 8:00 in the morning like this.
Well,
it's kind of cool.
I got stuff to do today.
I know, me too. It was perfect because when you first said Friday, I'm like, Friday's out, but then you're like 8:00. I'm like, oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, coffee and a podcast, kind of cool.
Yeah, I like
coffee with Jim and Troy this morning.
That's right. So I think that's a good segment or something. So I want to talk about when we're talking on the deer topic, whitetail, and so you guys know that we're not talking like your average whitetail conversation. We're talking about mountain whitetails on public land,
right,
which is what we hunt out here in the West. And I want to discuss what is first of all, what's your favorite month out of all three of those that you mentioned December as well. So we're talking September, October, November, December.
This is going to be kind of deep, but for me, because I hunt individual bucks and I get to know them very well and I leave them alone till they get older, it's based on that buck's personality. So whatever he gives me as far as a chink in his armor. So I can't say one month over another. Right now, September, we'll say September because we open August 30th. So I'm not going to say August. But September, early season, individual whitetails, if you've done your homework, can be unbelievable.
Okay.
The two biggest, and we'll go oldest too because it's not always about the size of the rack. But the two biggest scoring whitetails I've killed in my life are September 1 and October 1.
Interesting.
And I knew, these bucks were well patterned. The oldest deer that I've killed in my life were September 18th and what was he? November 10th. So
hey, that's my birthday, man.
November 10th, and
that's why you killed that big one on there.
And those are the two oldest deer I've ever killed. And
oldest ones.
And then I've went back and just went through all my whitetails, even when I was a kid, and I actually got I lost a bunch when I was teaching at a school one time, and I got my house robbed. So when I was 25, I lost everything.
That's right. I remember you
I
told
lost
me about
everything.
that. Yeah.
All my antlers, everything gone. So I don't have any of those from my younger years, which is a bummer because,
It's sentimental.
It's sentimental.
Like this buck behind me. That's a super sentimental deer.
Because it's when
teeny,
you were
look
young.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what my first buck looked like.
Yeah.
Anyway, all that to say, I have a pretty even distribution of when I've killed these whitetails, but you have to hunt them differently based on the month. It's kind of like bass fishing. There's biological needs that they have that they adhere to. So September right now, you're hunting a whitetail buck with a bow and arrow because that's the only thing open, and you got to catch him between his bed and his destination food, water source, or scrape. Those are the three things.
Those are the three things.
So it's social with the scrape because they're checking them like crazy. They're hitting the licking branches. They do it all summer long. They have to eat, and they got to get a drink.
So are you making scrapes for September? Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and I build most of my scrapes, my mock scrapes, back in February, March, and April.
What do you when you're building these scrapes back in February, March, April, these times, like, are you having to go back up there and kind of reapply
once a month?
Once a month, you're
once a month is kind of my rule, and the Buck Fever synthetics that I've used forever and that I'm a big ambassador for, I can go 2 months because the deer take it over. It's social. It's a social hub, and without getting into too much detail, I have a lot of podcasts out there that if other guys want to really get into detail, and I'm only saying this because we don't have a ton of time.
Yeah.
But all that to say, that's what I'm addressing, is a social hub where the animal beds and where he destines to get his food and water month by month by month.
Which one do I need to buy?
That entire system. You need the
all of them.
You do.
Okay.
You do, and I can go into detail because
that's all I need to do.
Because it addresses the entire season.
Yeah.
The licking branch is key. So you got to get the forehead gland. The pre-post urine is just a lower testosterone version of the rut urine. I use them both, and then they've got the red moon rut estrus and the red moon tarsal buck. So what I do when I build a scrape, I'll make this short and clear. I want a scrape to come across to every whitetail in the woods that comes across it and finds it. I want it to process in their brain multiple deer are already there. So I use them all when I build one. And guys will say, do you keep using them all? Even the estrus, Troy, during the summer? One time when I build it, I put it all in because I want different profiles of scent in that trap. And I call it a trap because a scrape is a trap for me. In Idaho, you can't bait.
Yeah, exactly.
Now in Washington, where you can bait, I have to put feed out and put a scrape out and keep them separate because if I don't have a doe in the woods. Yeah. I lose them all to all the baiters. So I play that game. I've been very open about how I play the game where you can feed.
Yeah.
But in Idaho, the scrapes, you can't bait. So for me, every whitetail buck I've killed in Idaho has been in conjunction since I started building scrapes with a scrape. Everyone with a bow. Because I have a scrape at every stand site.
I wish I can come to this boot camp tomorrow, man. I need to know how to make these scrapes.
Well, and I build. That's the key. Is that boot camp is.
I know.
Guys got to be there for 6 or 7 hours to get it all. We have what, a half hour left here probably.
Yeah. Well, it's 5 to 9 right now.
So I don't have. I got 20 minutes left. That I can chat.
So let's go back. We'll leave that because we spent a lot of time on the scrapes on the last time you were on the show. So let's
just talk about guys getting out right now.
Getting out right now. So September.
Here's what guys got to do right now. You need to identify where that buck is moving in the daylight to get to the destinations that I spoke of. He's either every day in his life he's going to get up and go eat. He's going to get up and go get a drink of water. And about every other day, and sometimes every day, or at least every third day, he's going to go check a social hub. Unless he's just a 100% hermit buck that doesn't give a crap about any other deer, and you biologically hardly ever see that.
Gotcha.
Because testosterone drives them to go check on the status at these scrapes at the licking branch of other deer. So you got to get in between bedding, food source, water source, or a scrape. and you got to get in the security cover if you really want to see the bigger deer where it's not so wide open and catch them in their travel routes to and from. Real simple. In the mornings, you better be high because he's coming uphill. In the evenings, he's probably moving down an elevation somewhere. That's a simple approach to it. I hunt. I come in on top in the mornings. In the evenings, I can come in lower and catch them coming down.
Gotcha.
So if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. And you've already got these bucks kind of identified, and you've got them figured out in terms of what their habits are because of your camera systems that you've been monitoring.
And I let them get old.
Yeah, you let them get old.
I don't know anybody that lets deer get as old as I will.
No, I don't know anybody either, except for maybe out on these game farms.
Yeah, I'm doing this on public land.
Yeah.
And I roll the dice all the time.
Yeah,
I roll the dice on these bucks surviving, not just humans, lions and wolves and bears,
everything else.
Everything else.
Why do you think it is like other hunters don't get those bucks? Like you have a really good track record of identifying maybe a 3 or 4 year old buck and then watching him grow into a 5 or 6 year old.
If he can get to 3 or 4, and why guys don't get him is, first of all, if a buck gets to 3 or 4, he's pretty sharp in the mountains.
Yeah,
he's probably sharp as most farm type bucks that are 5 or 6, and it's because he's got predators on his ass all the time.
Yeah,
so he's really sharp. Why is it so hard to kill him? Because they get practice every day. You and I are just honest to God, to them, we're not the toughest predator they have to avoid. Humans make all kinds of lazy mistakes.
Yeah.
Wolves and mountain lions don't make a lot of mistakes. So most people that are trying to kill an old whitetail have zero idea where he beds, have zero idea how he uses the wind and the thermals every day to stay alive, and have zero idea even on how to get in, set up on him without getting detected. That's extremely.
I don't know those things.
No, and it's nothing personal to anybody. No. That's why I do my boot camp. That's why I do the podcast. I try to help people start to break it down from a surgical perspective and how to get in, get out, set up, intercept big whitetails in the daylight.
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
You have to do the research, though. So guys will ask me, well, what do you do in Idaho? Because you can't put out feed. Those scrapes are key, and the scrapes are a place where, like this big Idaho buck I sent you a picture of.
Yeah.
That I want to kill this year.
And you don't want me to share that on Facebook?
I would appreciate no. This big Idaho buck that I would like to kill has been hunted hard by guys. And he got hunted hard last year by people, and I left him alone. And he was in the 160s last year, but I knew he would make a nice jump this year if he'd just make it. And now he made it. He's the prime of his life.
Big old buck, man.
Oh, he's big 6x6. Just beautiful. And that's just one of many that I keep track of. But my point is, I allowed him to get to the age to where he's extremely hard to kill for anybody. Now it's my favorite thing about big whitetails is that game. Now it's you and I, maybe 10 other hunters know about him, but it's you and I, buddy, and here we go. And I'm going to kill you with a bow and arrow.
You think there's 9 other guys out there?
I know there is.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. There's cameras everywhere in the woods now.
Yeah, that's true.
And I scout all the hunters. I mean, I know where everybody parks.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's cool. Good for you. Good for guys.
It doesn't seem to have any real impact on your success. So.
I've always said this to my boys, especially Tyson, because he's into whiteys and Jess with his bass. It's really easy not easy. Finding them is one thing. Catching them or killing them, those top level animals, whether it's a 10 or a 8-pound bass or a 6-year-old whitetail buck in the mountains, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
No mistakes. Can't make one mistake. And if you do, you got to move on him. You got to be willing to do the work too when he does figure you out.
Yeah.
Who's willing to go do all that work and move tree stands and relocate and find him somewhere else if you need to?
So true.
It's a ton of work. But to me, it's not work. It's my life's passion.
I know you're busy, man. You're always out there checking cams, going shed hunting. You had a heck of a shed hunting season.
Yeah, and it's just what we do.
Yeah,
it's our lifestyle. So for us, Ty and I think found close to 100 sheds this year, and that's like a down year for us. But we were busy with, Ty's really busy with football.
Yeah.
Little shout out to Coeur d'Alene Vikings. They're going to be tough this year.
Oh, yeah.
Ty's pretty pumped. He starts both ways, wide receiver and state safety, and he's put on 35 pounds.
No kidding.
And he's 6'3" now, or 6'2" and a half.
6'2" and a half? Oh,
yeah.
That's a big kid. I saw you posted a picture when you guys went to Montana. I was like, damn, he's a lot bigger than
that boy's been working. So a little shout. He's, it's typical dad stuff. My boys, I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
He works his freaking ass off.
That's awesome.
I've never seen a kid lift as hard as him and his buddy Trent.
Mm-hmm.
They are hardcore. They're going to be two of the strong, reliable players on that team. And that team's a great program. But anyway, all that to say, we have been busy, yes. But I still find my time. I mean, I schedule it. My whitetail time means a ton to me. So to help these locals right now and guys that are really trying to just get on a deer, get in between that food, water, bedding.
And that's September.
You got to get in between it. Yes.
Now let's roll into October.
Okay.
What changes for mountain whitetails?
It gets better, and it's because the testosterone levels in the bucks start to increase, and the scrapes start to pick up more daylight activity, especially if you have your scrapes in good cover.
So good cover being
timber,
just timbered,
cover,
real thick.
Yeah, cover.
How about brushy?
Brushy's good too.
Brushy's good
because our deer can get up, eat, lay down, get water in a 50-yard circle all day if they position themselves correctly.
Do you have an opinion on when you're setting these scrapes and deciding where your tree stand is going to go? We talk in the elk world a lot about they're going to bed on north face slopes, south face slopes.
Right.
Is any of that applicable to big mountain whitetail?
Absolutely. The guys that are starting to see where I'm killing big deer is usually elk country. I'm high. My big mountain whitetails, they're just like a big bull. They want to be cool. They're like a man.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be cool in the hot summer. So my bucks go high right now in September because it's hotter than hell out.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where they live.
I think opening day is like 85 right now.
Yeah, and
up here.
The thermals send scent to them all day long of everything below them. So these big old mountain bucks, they position themselves above the doe family groups. And then they move accordingly. And they move for water and feed, too, accordingly. Some of my best early season whitetail killing spots are in north faces. And it's because I positioned myself within 200 or 300 yards of where he's bedding.
Gotcha.
And I'm catching him in the daylight checking a scrape because he can't say no to it.
Mm-hmm.
That scrape is there. He thinks there's 10 deer in it. I get my does starting to hit it. I'll get my does to kind of come up on the top end of their zone of where they live, and they'll check it too. And then once they start covering, and my does cover my scrapes like crazy. So they're leaving their scent daily. And the bucks smell them moving around below them and leaving that scent, and the bucks come down and check them.
And so the scrapes are a social thing for these.
100%
it's
social.
Like they're checking Facebook or something.
Right, and here's what most people don't hunt. They hunt food to water, food to water, food to water, food to water. I hunt food to water social.
Okay, so you're adding the social element, which is
huge, huge with whitetails.
Huge.
And the scrape is the social signpost.
Yeah.
The licking branch that hangs down is the social signpost. The dirt and all that is a little more geared for the rut, but I've already got does and bucks peeing in the dirt already on camera and on video.
Mm-hmm.
They're already starting to urinate in the dirt, so they're rocking already.
This is great information, man. So, we've rolled into October. Now I'm
on the scrapes in October.
Now
you're sitting on them.
You're sitting on them in October.
Because the bucks are transitioning from just food and water to hitting the social signposts more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I also make mock rubs around my scrapes to make a buck think there's a big dude moved in on me, and I got to find him.
How do you make the rubs?
I just take my tree saw, and you know what a rub looks like.
Yeah.
I just scratch the cambium off 4 or 5 trees to give that big buck a visual when he rolls in. He rolls in and sees that scrape, and he looks around, and there's 4 rubs there. Spread out, and and you watch him on video, it's unreal. His hair bristles up.
Really?
He starts looking around, and he'll go rub over the top of those rubs, and I hit those rubs with my forehead scent. So the forehead scent. So here's what I'm a whitetail.
Mm-hmm.
I become a whitetail buck to him that he never sees, but he smells all the time.
That's fantastic.
So he's hunting me. Yeah, that's cool stuff.
That's way cool. Okay, now let's roll into November.
Okay, November, you got to get on the doe family groups. So my setups are already positioned to where I have the doe family groups addressing the scrape.
Mm-hmm.
But for all guys and gals that are wanting to kill that November rut buck, you got to put the time in, set in a great area that holds does,
mm-hmm.
and that does will travel by you daily. And again, Idaho, the scrape's incredible. So my does come through. I'm close to those does. I'm close to their bedding areas. My bucks are usually positioned in a safe area above. But here's what happens in Idaho and in the mountains is the bucks, they kind of stop traveling so much vertically every day in November, and they start traveling around these mountains horizontally. And the reason they do that is they're dropping down to the level of the majority of the doe family groups, and they're traveling horizontally to pick up on which doe is almost ready.
Gotcha.
And then when they find a doe that's close based on her scent and her pheromones, then they lock into her and they camp out on her for 3 or 4 or 5 days.
So they're not kind of partnering up like have you ever seen a mule deer during the rut where they're like elk, they'll stay with the herd.
They stay with the herd.
And whitetail just don't herd up like mule
whitetail
deer,
bucks are nomads.
Yeah,
they're hermits. But they go around and
they'll only camp on that doe.
They camp out on
coming in.
Yes, and then they get to the next one, and they know where that next doe family group is. Photo period determines it every year. A doe will come into heat within a day or two of the same day every year. So those big bucks learn over the years that doe A is in heat this week, doe B is in heat this week, and that's where I got to be.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
you figured that out.
Yeah, and what's really cool is you can hunt the same buck a year later that you didn't kill on the same doe.
Really?
The next year.
That's sweet.
He'll show right back up on her.
Yes, man.
Oh, it's wicked.
It's crazy. It must have taken you years to figure all this out.
I dove into the biology of whitetails when I was a teen.
Mm-hmm.
I read every book on the planet that was out there.
Did
just
you?
Straight biology of deer. Yeah, and it just made sense.
So we've talked about that. Like when we're November's a big one. November, like a lot of guys are going to be out elk hunting for September.
Elk, yeah. And October they'll start looking at some deer maybe, but November,
exactly. Yeah, November's kind of
set on the
does.
Right? Set on your does in good cover, where bucks feel safe.
And you're in a tree stand generally. Any advice for somebody that might not be in a tree stand?
Yeah, if you're hunting with a rifle and you're walking, you get into a good area that holds does. The best advice I can give every whitetail hunter on the planet: sit your butt down and be patient. You'll kill way more big whitetails doing that than you'll average if you're just pushing brush.
Yeah.
In these mountains. Because it's really hard to walk up on a big whitetail in these mountains because they have everything in their advantage. Heavy brush, heavy cover, steep ground. They hear you coming a mile away. Mm-hmm. You're making noise. They see you visually. You get into a good spot where deer like to run during the daylight. You got does in there during November. Sit down.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a tree stand. I got good buddies that hunt rifle every year and kill a nice buck, and that's how they hunt them.
Do you think, because I don't have a tree stand. Well, I have an old clunky one out there, but I'm not. It's beyond its life.
And remember, I'm bow hunting.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So I got to get up.
Like I want to get out with my bow, but I don't have a tree stand. And so what about like a ground blind?
I've killed them off the ground.
Do you use a blind?
No, I just build a natural one.
You built just kind of build up some brush, sitting
tuck
there,
right back in it. I've killed 2 of my better bucks off the ground with a bow, and it was because I didn't have a good tree to get in where they were daylighting.
Yeah.
So I made you make do with what you got.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm trying to do is like cover everything.
Right.
You run those what are those
Lone Wolf
stands?
custom gear stands.
Custom gear stands.
Yeah, and they're incredible. You can throw a Lone Wolf custom gear. I'll have it at my boot camp tomorrow, and I show the guys. My stand and my sticks all together about 11 pounds.
Yeah,
my stand's like 7.
It's a great.
Now a guy like you that wants to go for a walk,
mm-hmm.
you throw that on your back. You don't even know it's there. It's a backpack when you kill your deer. It transitions into a backpack. You can be in a tree in 5 minutes and set for half a day or a day.
Okay, I'm going to get one of those.
They're incredible.
I need to get one of
those. Because it gets you up at a better line of sight in this thick cover out here.
When you order one of those online, how long does it take to get one?
Well, we are so slammed, and COVID, I'm going to shoot straight with you right now. Andre DeQuisto, the owner, is literally right now driving to Michigan with a huge flatbed trailer because the trucking companies
they're
are
not
slow.
Going there. Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's
so
freaking nuts.
But
dude.
no, you'll get one, but you got to get on it now if you want one for November.
You got to use one. You'll sell me.
I don't get rid of my Lone Wolf custom gears. They're too nice. And then I also have stands that I have preset.
Yeah.
But that custom gear stand is perfect for the mountain whitetail hunter that wants to grab his rifle, throw it on his back, super lightweight, hike in 2 or 3 miles, get up in a tree and set for some hours. Yeah, it's incredible.
I'm going to grab one of those, man. I think
they're
it'd be useful for just a lot of different things.
I kill elk out of tree stands.
We're getting down to it, man. I want to. This has been, I can keep going with you for another 2 hours.
Right.
But I know you're on a tight schedule.
Jess is going to be pissed at me because I got to go get his bass boat.
Yeah. No, and I don't blame him, man. He's got a big day tomorrow.
He's got a big day tomorrow, and I wish I could stay and talk more, but.
I was glad.
Jess is trying to win.
I thought it was actually a long shot. I'm like, I'm going to see if Troy will come back on before season.
Jess is trying to win the ABA tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. And he's got a good shot. Where's he at place-wise right now?
He's 1 point in the lead for the season.
For first place.
And his good buddy Anthony, who you had both those guys on.
Yep.
Anthony's mother is getting married this weekend. Anthony had to go. I mean, you can't miss your mother's wedding.
I don't know. If my mom was getting married on Final Bass Tournament, I'd be like,
So just to say, proud of my son and Anthony both, but Justin's got to do it on his own tomorrow.
Yeah.
And hey, no matter where he ends up, the kid's had a great season.
He has. And
he's leading the points
honestly,
right now.
If somebody could pull it off, Jess can pull it off, man.
He's 19
I've never
years
seen somebody so passionate about bass fishing.
19 years old, and right now they're in first. I don't want to jinx him, but I'm wishing him the best. And I know he'll get it. He did his work.
Yeah.
He has been doing his homework. He's got some fish found. Now it's just a matter of the fish cooperating.
Yep.
He's ready to go.
Yep, he's ready to go.
Yep.
Well, Troy, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to be watching you this season, and we might have to do like a postseason, just a wrap-up of how your season unfolded, like, around Christmas or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And real quick, a shout-out to all the guys out there that are listening, guys and gals. If you want to watch some of our hunts, Whitetail Addictions TV at Lone Wolf Custom Gear YouTube page. You can literally watch my boy and I kill some mountain bucks there. And we hunt Washington, we hunt Idaho, and
sometimes Montana, don't you?
Yeah, if I find a good buck in Montana, I'll go hunt it. Mm-hmm. I'll put it in.
Yeah.
But we're going to Ohio this year. So we do the Midwest too. So we jump all over. And just remember when you're watching people, when I'm in Washington, yes, you do deal with the baiting. It's part of it.
Yeah.
Idaho, you got to play the game. And I've always been straight with people on that. If you don't play the game, you lose every doe.
Instead of whining about it, adjust to it.
You adjust.
Yep,
you adjust and you play the game. In Idaho, you'll see my Idaho footage. These big bucks are usually rolling right through a scrape. Or they're just coming downwind of a scrape. And
Fascinating.
And they'll come in scent checking it, and we'll shoot them.
That's sweet.
That's pretty cool stuff.
So next week at this time, you're going to be on a deer stand.
I'm going to be on a deer stand on a big buck that I know really well Sunday morning.
Sweet.
Sunday morning is the 30th, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I will be after that buck Sunday, the one I sent you a picture of.
All right. Well, if I am not leaving until the 6th, so if you need some help packing anything out, just let me know.
I got
two. Blindfold me. You don't have to give me your spot.
I got 2 big boys that kind of take care of that. So
that's nice. Very true.
All right, man.
Thanks for coming on, buddy.
You bet, Jim.
I appreciate it.
Great time.
Bye-bye. You made it all the way to the end. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. We sure appreciate your support. This is Jim Huntsman signing off and reminding you to check us out at Instagram at The Western Huntsman and on Facebook at The Western Huntsman. And you can also check out the website at thewesternhuntsman.com. Thanks again. We'll see you guys next time. Stay Western, and I'll see you on the mountain.